No, there are very few people who get up in the morning and think about Canada. I mean, that's the reality. Very few people who get up in the morning and think about Canada. I mean, that's the reality. No, there are very few people.
So wait, am I hearing this right? Is Mark Carney saying that very few people around the world just wake up and immediately reach for the "Tell me about Canada" button on whatever news app they trust to lie to them the least? Is that what Mark Carney is saying here? Because I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. People think about you, Mark. People love you. We love you. We just wish you were more like your sister. We'd love you more if you were more like your sister. And Canada was a little more like the United States. July 12th, 2026. This is the original comic reporter, and it's just so sad. It's just so very sad. I feel like we're watching Mark Carney spiral a little bit here. I think he might be spiraling. I think he might be taking the rejection from Donald Trump a little personally. It feels like Mark Carney is really reopening some old wounds. This feels like something you say when, Jared Kushner abandons you for a prettier girl. It kind of feels like he's mad that Brookfield was overlooked while BlackRock rebuilds the Gaza Strip. It feels like he's concerned Ukraine will find out Brookfield isn't their best option. It's someone they'll flirt with, but when it comes right down to it, Brookfield's not the company they want, so he just has to keep spending billions of dollars, you know, to make sure they stay blind. I mean, it's not like he's their best option to get pipelines once they're done being bombed by Russia. It feels like Carney may be taking Donald Trump's ability to get things done quickly a bit personally. And he might be taking it out on our relationship with the rest of the world. And I have to say, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's tough to find out that you're like number 30 on the list of people that anyone wants to deal with. I understand, Mark. We love you. Here in Canada, we love Mark Carney. We just want him to be a little less absent, maybe a tad more in touch with Canada. And we wish he said a little less and did like a little more, not much, not much. We don't ask for much, just a little something. We just wish Mark Carney did something that didn't involve flying all over the world and getting absolutely nothing we can work with to make this country better, even just a little bit more than a memorandum of understanding. Like at this point, Canada will really take anything. Really anything at all. Please, Mark, can you please remember your Prime Minister of Canada? Please, just once, please. Don't make us beg. Don't make us beg for you to remember that Canada is the country that elected you, and if the rest of the world doesn't think about Canada, it might be because they think you represent Canada, and it's kind of your job to make the rest of the world think about Canada. So if the rest of the world isn't thinking about Canada, then I think that I think it might have more to do with Mark Carney than Canada. And I'm guessing what I'm saying is that I wish Mark Carney were a little more like Donald Trump. That's what I'm saying. I wish Mark Carney was a little more like Donald Trump and a little less like, I don't know, an older version of Dora the Explorer. A little less Spanish. I don't know where your backpack is. I don't know where your map is, Mark, but you seem to be able to find your way there without it. So yeah, you're a little less Dora the Explorer, and you have a lot in common. That's what we wish for, though. That's what we wish. I wish that. Everyone wishes that. That's all we're saying. Why is that so much to ask? Was there actually anyone in Canada who thought anyone else in the world actually had Canada at the top of their countries I care about list? If Canada actually wanted to be a country anyone cared about, it would have called pineapple on pizza Canadian instead of Hawaiian. People all over the world should think of Canada anytime they get pineapple on their pizza. And I think that's something, if you really want Canada to be relevant, and Mark, that's something that you need to try to point out. I mean, when that guy, when that Greek guy invented pineapple on pizza, kind of by accident, and he called Hawaiian, he just handed the naming rights over to Hawaii. And that seems like it's a particularly Canadian thing to do. If you want to be on the relevant stage, Mark, maybe that's something you should correct. Listen, I don't like agreeing with Mark Carney, but sometimes he's right, and he's he's right. It's his fault. It's his problem. But he's also right. It's something, I mean, he's something he needs to correct, something he should probably want to fix. This isn't news. But this was not this is agreeing with him is not something I was supposed to ever do, nor is it something I ever enjoy doing, nor is it something I ever intend to do again. But I do have to agree with Mark Carney. I mean, if what Mark Carney says is true, if the world actually doesn't wake up immediately and scroll to the Canadian part of the news timeline and ingest every single thing that's on there just to keep up to date with the most relevant country in the world, then I feel like I feel like that might have something to do with the leader of that country. Seriously, and Canadian content creators need to get a little tougher because making you cry is way, way too easy. Listen, Canada, if you have to start taking credit for stuff you do, you have to start following Mark Carney's lead. If you really want to start making waves on the global stage, then you have to start taking credit for stuff, even if you didn't actually do any of it. Even if you didn't actually do it, even if you're just rehashing old stuff, even if you're doing, I'm sure it's not true, but even if it takes plagiarism to get into the position that you hold. I mean, Mark Carney and Canada's imposter syndrome is starting to affect us a little a little too much. We need to change, first of all, we need to start by changing the name of Hawaiian pizza to Canadian. Hawaii had absolutely no involvement with the invention or distribution of pineapple pizza. The branding is fraudulent. We need to remind the world that the thing they all can't stop talking about and arguing about actually came from the one country none of them care about. I'm sorry for how this might affect Hawaiian tourism and non-English speakers who only learned to say Hawaiian because they liked pineapple on pizza so much. But from now on, this is part of my platform. This is something I will run on. From now on, pineapple on pizza must be referred to as Canadian, as God intended. Sorry, Hawaii, but you're going to have to replace that tourism you get from the relevance of your fraudulent naming of pineapple on pizza. Listen, maybe the idiots who have some kind of unexplained hatred of delicious things will start coming back to Hawaii once they realize your taste in food isn't quite as good as Canada's is. I don't know. It could go either way. Either I'm about to get banned in Hawaii over this, or they're going to make me their new state mascot. I mean, it depends on who won the debate on pineapple on pizza, and imagine some of those people who don't like it are actually quite insane. So this could go very, very poorly for me. But yes, Mark, this is the kind of thing Donald Trump would do. He renamed the Gulf of Mexico. You should rename pineapple on pizza. It's the kind of performative move that gets you in the news and really takes relevance back for Canada without doing anything other than renaming a piece of food. Look, I'm going to tell you the same thing I keep telling Africa. I'm going to tell you the same thing we keep telling Africa. We get it. This Africa can be the cradle of humanity and also they harness the power of fire. And sure, spears and projectile weapons are pretty useful. But what have you done? What has Africa done for the world lately? I mean, yes, yeah, you keep sending us basketball players, but you know who invented basketball? You know where basketball came from? You know who created that opportunity for you, Africa? Yeah, James Naismith. James Naismith was Canadian. You probably don't even know his name. Canada created that opportunity for every third worlder to have a shot at generational wealth completely on purpose and with a full intent. It was our intention to give the third world a shot at generational wealth completely on purpose and with full intent to balance the playing field of humanity. And I think we deserve a little recognition for it. The fact that they aren't James Naismith statues with a Canadian flag draped around them in every major African city is a little ungrateful. It's a little ungrateful. Listen, and while we're at it, let's go even further. Every European city as well. East, West, Ukrainian, Russian, Polish, UK, Romania, all of them. Why don't they all? They've all. James Naismith's Canadian invention of basketball has created more generational wealth in countries that otherwise couldn't do it on their own than any tech company could ever dream of. Listen, if you want to get back on the top of the global mindset, you need to announce your achievements and your contributions on the global stage to the world. And the best way to do that is demand that every city that's ever benefited off of Canadian invention has to build a statue to the founder and wrap it in a Canadian flag. Because I mean, If you want people to think about Canada, you have to get in their eyes, and this is one of the best ways to do it. Anyways, that aside, listen, if you don't have a James Naismith statue in your city, you're not allowed to put people from your city in the NBA draft. That's the rule. Anyways, listen, Canada. Obviously, the world is just a bunch of ungrateful tourists, and they're asking what we've done for them lately. And I'm going to say it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Once you've invented the telephone and basketball, I mean, what else do you want? What else do you want from us? But yes, we're number two on the list of countries making sure that Ukrainians have all the money they need to make sure there are no men left in their country by 2030. But what else? Canada, I have to ask you this. What else is Canada doing to make the world a better place? We invented the telephone. Let's face it, that was a while ago. And yes, the world is very underpopulated with James Naismith statues, despite the number of wells that money has paid for. But what else? Let's face it, it's been a while. It's been a while, and we can only expect people to say thank you for so long. Like Poland. I mean, those ungrateful bastards gave up on us after 50 years. And if it wasn't for us, they would have a monument to Hitler right now. And you know what, India? If it wasn't for Alexander Graham Bell, you don't even have an economy. That's right. I said it. Little gratitude would be nice. India, the man who invented the telephone in Canada, deserves a little something from the Indian people because if it wasn't for him, you probably don't even have an economy. You are clearly incapable of taking care of yourself, and you needed Alexander Graham Bell's attention to make sure that you had access to the rest of the world. Because if it wasn't for us, you would have starved to death by now. There'd be way less than over a billion Indians in the world if it wasn't for that Canadian invention of the telephone. A little gratitude. A little gratitude would be nice. Anyways, I'll let you think about that for a while. I will let all of you think about what you can do here in Canada to put Canada back on the map. If you're so mad that you now have to agree with the Prime Minister of Canada, you have no choice. He's right. I mean, it's his fault, and it's his predecessor's fault. It really is up to them that this happened, that people were so eager and so willing to forget about all the things that Canada did to make the world a better place. But I mean, he's right. He is right. People have really forgotten how important Canada has been to the world's development. But you're wrong. You're wrong, Canadian influencers. It's tough. It's tough that the one country in the world that has done everything to make the world a better place has now been forgotten about. I'll let you think about that by yourself in silence, and we can really try to digest this major bombshell from Mark Carney. Even though he created the situation we're in, we really do need to find our way back into relevance on the global stage, and I think that starts by pointing out that the rest of the world is simply ungrateful and needs a better member. Anyways, good luck with that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck.